Okay, after the lined tartlet tins have chilled for about at least 30 minutes in the cooler. They can certainly go for longer, but at least 30 until they're nice and firm. You want to do a pre-bake on them before filling them and finishing the tartlets. So I've already done the pre-bake. They will bake in a 350-degree oven for approximately 7 minutes. I don't want the tart dough to take any real color, maybe a little bit of light brown, but mainly what you're looking for is that the tart dough dries out, okay? So it's no longer completely raw. The reason you do this is because we're about to put in the fruit filling that's very, very juicy, and so it's gonna help keep the tart shell from getting too soggy. Okay, so next thing, so those are my pre-baked tartlet shells ready to go, but I do want to show you the filling. I already mixed it up. Now what I did use the frozen raspberries that Sandy provided. I tried to get as much of the moisture or liquid from the water, the condensation after they thawed out. You can see that in there, and what I'm gonna do is just use the filling and try to avoid as much liquid as I can, because I think that would tend to make the crust of our tartlet soggy. The other thing I did, because the figs were on the small side, is I augmented the filling, if you will, with some fresh blackberries that I had, because I think the blackberries, the raspberries, the figs, they all go nicely together. I cut those up so they weren't too big, and they were small sizes like the frozen raspberries and the figs. Mix that with the flour and the sugar, and there you have the filling. Okay, the other thing I did in between during my wait time is I cut my lattice strips. Again, I just rolled the tart dough about 1/8 of an inch thick, maybe even thinner than I did for the tartlet shells, and cut strips about 1/4 of an inch wide. And then put those in the refrigerator too, so they get nice and firm and they're easier to manage. Okay, but they're gonna sit out now. I will show you, get the fruit filling in my tarts. Try to be careful to not get too much up on the edge. Okay, again, I'm avoiding too much liquid that's in the bottom of my filling mix. A little bit more, fill those up nicely, because as they cook, the filling will sort of settle in, and the water moisture will evaporate, and so it will shrink a little bit. So we want to fill them up nicely. And then I'm gonna get it's a little bit much, get the lattice top on. Okay, let me show you the lattice top. I'll just put one together. So like I said, I have my strips, have my tart. Now remember, the bottom part of the tart base has been pre-baked. Okay, so it's not raw dough, and the lattice is raw dough. But what we're gonna do is, because the bottom is not entirely baked, it's only par baked, we're going to be able to attach this lattice to the bottom, and I will show you how to do it. Okay, so I have three across. I'm just gonna gently weave the 3 in the other direction now. First, I weave the lattice, and then I'm gonna trim the edges and connect it to the base. Let's see here. Just need a short one. Weaving the lattice is a little time consuming, but I wanted everybody to give it a try. Okay, so I have the extras. What you can do, you can use a paring knife. Let me move this so you guys can see it better, hopefully. I'm gonna go around. Okay, the one final step I wanna show you in the process of this recipe, after the tartlets have baked and they're cool enough to hold, how to unmold them. Like I said, the tartlet tins that I'm using have the false bottom, so they can easily come up like this and then just remove. But if you don't have the false bottom, flip the tartlet over in your hand very carefully and gently because these are fragile. If you have the false bottom, remove that. You can see the nice color on the bottom, so there's no concern that the tart dough didn't bake on the bottom. And there you have it. Okay, and that's it.